Hello, this is YouTube. Here Monsters doing a quick video response. Well, not necessarily a quick one. It's going to be a little bit more in-depth than some of my other ones. Maybe a two-parter. I don't know yet. Just making a quick response to the Reptilian Scum. You mentioned a few things. Like you say that I read from a script off of the screen, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you that really when I speak I look straight forward and the cam's usually off to the side. So I figured I'd move the cam to the front so that you could see me and where my eyes are. Now I did of course do a small outline because you did touch upon a lot of things in your video that I want to touch upon myself. So the first thing that you mentioned is that I contradict myself. In what way? Find yeah, give me an example of when I contradict myself. Give me an example. I'd like to see it. It's easy to say these things without putting up any evidence, really. And here's one. You know, you say that I contradict myself. I'm not the one that posts smear vids on people just because I disagree with what they have to say. I've posted smear vids about Mr. Dark Zodiac and Victor Fox. But if you notice, in the smear vids that I post about them, I actually show clips of their own videos and say, this is what this individual said, and this is why they're an idiot. You, or whoever. I'm not going to call you an idiot on this video. I'm not going to do it. I just really wanted to respond to you in an adult fashion. So here we go. You say the Kelly chat log was real. Well, I was actually there while it was going on. We knew that it wasn't real. Okay, everybody there knew that the individual that he was chatting with was not real. She wasn't the only one being he, she, it. Kelly, the entity, the persona, was not the only thing being PM'd at that time. Okay? We knew. I knew. He asked for pictures of her face because she kept changing who she was, changing her situation, changing the specifics of who she was, what she was doing, her age. And he asked for pictures of her face. Said to send the pics in a zip file. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not getting into that because I got into it in another video and I'm not getting drawn off on that other tangent. You say that the Kelly video is real. That is false. There's no other way to put it. There's no polite way to put it. There's no diplomatic way to really put it. It's a lie. But anyway, I rest my case on that one. In the can of whoop ass that you mentioned, if something like this happened to your daughter, you would go and you open up a can of whoop ass. You would have carted yourself down to Kentucky and opened a can of whoop ass. First off, if something like that had actually happened to your daughter and you don't do more than open up a can of whoop ass, you're not a man. I'm sorry. Okay. That sort of thing calls for something far greater than a can of whoop ass. All right. Anonymous is not a terrorist organization. Anonymous, they attack websites of corporations, of any sort of institution. It doesn't really specifically matter. They attack whoever and whatever for whatever reason. And to say that they're terrorists, they are peaceful. I agree. They are peaceful. They don't harm people. They don't attempt to physically harm people. However, they do attempt to destroy things in order to make people afraid. In order to control someone else's behavior through fear is by definition terrorism. And through fear of being attacked or hacked, as many of you have attempted to do on YouTube here, have claimed that you are going to hack people's computers, hack people's emails, and that you know who they are and that you're going to come and get them, and you say that you know who I am, but that you're not going to say my name because that's the respectable thing to do, to not say my name. Give me my initials. I'm giving you my permission to give my name. I'm giving you permission. So please, give my name. And if you don't want to give my name, give my initials. Do something. Prove to us that what you're saying is more than a lie. A simple, cheesy, cop-out lie. Because that's what it's looking like from where I'm sitting. I mean, you mean to tell me that if you had my name, you wouldn't drop it? Do you expect me to believe that? Do you really? I mean, how simple are you? Anyway, I'll go away from that. You protest Scientology and another church. You protested a church. Now, I can understand if you don't agree with what the church stands for. If you don't agree that they're right, you disagree, you believe that they're wrong. That's great. You're allowed to disagree with them. And I suppose you're allowed to protest them and things. However, it does not give you the right to attack them. That's one of the things about living in the United States of America. In case you ever cared to notice, we have a freedom of religion in this country, which means that if you choose to be Christian, pagan, if you choose to be Muslim or Jewish, or you choose to believe that ancient aliens came down and spawned the human race, it is your right to believe that. It is your right to believe that the cosmic cream puff spawned the universe and everything in it. It is your right to do that. It is your right, it is the right of other people to follow that if they feel that that is true. To think that you have the right to attack someone else because you don't agree with their religious beliefs, and to feel that you have the right to hack websites that are run by their institution, that you have the right to stand in front of their church and heckle the people as they walk in, and you do have that right. You have that right. But it's an abuse of the First Amendment to do that. There's nothing wrong with standing out in front of their church and saying, I don't agree with what these people say. There's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to do that. Just like they're allowed to stand out in front of your church or whatever and say, I don't agree with what you say. But to attack their website, their infrastructure, to try to damage their property, and I can tell you, there are religious groups that I do not agree with. 100% guaranteed. I don't agree with creationism. Relatively near to where I live, they opened a creation museum. It's located in Petersburg, Kentucky. I've never been to the Creation Museum, nor will I ever go to the Creation Museum because I know what it's about and I don't agree with that. I think it's silly and childish. Now, being that I believe that it is silly and childish, that it is myopic, and that I believe that it is unintelligent, to say the least, I am not going to go to that church or to that creation museum and pick it in front of it and say, oh, you people are full of it. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. They're allowed to believe the way that they believe. And I'm glad they found something that they can believe in to make them feel better about life. Though it's not something that I can do. It's not something that I can subscribe to. I can be happy for them that they have found something that makes them happy. And that's what you despise. You despise people finding things that make them happy. Regardless. Von Helton comes on Blog TV, on YouTube, says he's a Punisher. You don't have to believe it. It makes him happy to say that. He has some fun conversations around the subject. He does. I've been present for some of them. But it doesn't give you the right to do what you've done to him. Are you starting to understand where I'm coming from here a little bit? That people have the right to believe what they want to believe, and that you have the right to disagree with them. But to attack them and try to damage them and try to harm them in any way, either mentally or physically, is irresponsible and unforgivable, as far as I'm concerned. You say what you want. You say that you think he's a child predator. Well, you have yet to prove that. And the only thing that you can do when it comes to the Kelly chat log is the same thing that you accuse Von Helton of doing. Using secondhand information. The same thing you accuse the truthers of doing. And the same thing that you accuse all the 9/11 conspiracy people of doing. Using secondhand information. That is precisely what you have done today. That is precisely what you have done. You have used secondhand information to brand someone else a pedophile. And say that it's real. You've done the very thing that you accuse Von Helton of doing. Talk your way out of that one. Because you can't. I know what you're doing. I know your thought process, and I know your tactics. I know you guys like to dance around certain issues and only pull out the ones that you think can benefit you, without putting any thought into it, might I add. George Bush pimps. George Bush Pimps is not innocent, pal. George Bush Pimps was not innocent. George Bush Pimps, you say that I put out George Bush Pimps' information and that he was a completely innocent person, had nothing to do with it. This is false, and you know that it's false. George Bush Pimps posted Von Helton's street address and telephone number. He most certainly did. And you can claim that he's innocent of that all you want. But we know. The people who've been around, even the people who are in your immediate circle, know this. Though they will conveniently omit that fact to make themselves look good and to further their argument and to protect their argument. So, we know how that works. I'm just checking my time because I'm going to have to do 2 parts of this, I think. Yeah. I definitely wanted to touch upon the Human Shields comment. The Human Shields comment regarding June Yankee and Stigma Buster 22. I used them as human shields. Exactly how did I do that? Explain yourself. They were being attacked. Stigma Buster 22 had a girlfriend online. Stigma Buster 22 is mentally challenged. He admits so himself. And yet we have people going online intentionally trying to create issues for this man because he is mentally challenged. Jared Milton, a 15-year-old. Victor Fawkes, I wonder who that is, goes on and starts making all kinds of sick sexual comments to this kid. And wants to call other people a sexual predator, a child predator. This is YouTube. Here we monsters. This is the end of part 1. We're going to get into part 2 right now.